Hi everyone! My name is Katy, and thank you for joining me for another video. Today we are doing a massive bookshelf tour of my home library, which is about 200 books, and we are going in depth. We are looking at special editions, customizations, and so much more, so let's get started. I am very privileged to be in the position to have a few different book box subscriptions and then also buy one-off special editions, exclusive editions, signed editions, all that. I also utilize the secondhand market for special editions fairly often, and the main place that I do that is called Pango Books. And this isn't sponsored or anything, but I do have an affiliate code with them if you want to use it. It is Katy, K-A-T-Y, for $5 off your first purchase on Pango Books. I genuinely use them to buy and sell and manage my collection. I should also mention that I am decorated for Halloween because it is Halloween when this video is being posted, so happy Halloween. It is my favorite time of year, my favorite holiday, and of course I need to decorate my library for the season as well. So starting with this right shelf, this is definitely my favorite shelf. All of my favorite books are on this shelf and I love it so much. So this first shelf is my dragon shelf, and I'm very lucky to own so many beautiful dragon books. Dragons are definitely my favorite trope or kind of fantasy book. So starting out, I just have this little pink dragon guy that sits here and protects my hoard of books. And I just got him at a local toy store, but he's very cute. So the first book on this shelf is the standard US hardcover of the book Dragonfall. I absolutely love how this cover looks. It is so pretty, and of course I love the dragon. This next book is Court of Dragons, and this is the Bookish Box Special Edition. It has a redesigned dust jacket with character art, and then the edges look like dragon scales, and then that dragon scale design continues onto the end papers, and then the hardcover case has a really intricate dragon gold foiling, and then the reverse side of the dust jacket has some character art, and we have a quote on the back. And then the next two books are the Fairy Loot special editions of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. So the Fourth Wing edition has this amazingly beautiful character art reverse dust jacket. I really love the artist that did these. And then of course we have the awesome dragon sprayed edge, and we have the three main dragons on the back as well. I love the art again so much on these. And then under the dust jacket, we have a really intricate foiling design on the naked hardback, and then the standard dust jacket print on the main side of the dust jacket. But of course, I had to flip it around for that amazing character art. And then I also have a few page overlays in my edition. These are from A Touch of Magic, and I really love them. They're a little bit small for this edition, but I don't really mind it. I just really value having the character art, and I think they look so good. And they also just really elevate a special edition for me. And then moving on to Iron Flame. So this obviously matches the first book, but we have a little bit of a different design for the character art dust jacket, and then a little bit different design on the sprayed edge, and then just two of the dragons on the back. The next book on this shelf is my first printing of Fourth Wing, and this is the edition that I read from the first time, but I'm very happy to have this on my shelf. The next book is actually from The Broken Binding, and this is A Time of Dragons. This was the second print run of this book, So these ones aren't numbered, which the first ones were, but I don't really care about that. I think this is so beautiful. The dust jacket has wraparound art that just looks beautiful. And of course, this dragon sprayed edge is absolutely epic. So I really love it, and it is also signed. It is also a purple hardback with a dragon foil design on the front. And purple is my favorite color, so I'm definitely partial to that. Moving on, another favorite on this shelf, this is Of Jade and Dragons. And this was actually a pretty recent Illumicrate special edition in the monthly box. And oh my gosh, I think this is so beautiful. So the dust jacket is a colorway change of the standard dust jacket. And then there is a matching dragon design on the sprayed edge and a quote on the back. I think these colors are so pretty. The different like blues and teals and everything. I just really, really love it. And then you take off the dust jacket and you have this amazing dragon design on the naked hardback. Illumicrate has been doing this a lot this year, and I personally really, really love these full art naked hardbacks. They're so pretty in my opinion. And then we also get some really cute character art on the end papers, and they are different on the front and the back side, and I just love them. I really, really love this edition. The next book on this shelf is The Night Ends with Fire, and this is the Fairy Loot edition from the monthly box. And this has a redesigned dust jacket, and it looks really awesome. It looks very different from the standard edition. I love the color changes and the gold foiling. And we have a matching sprayed edge that's very complimentary without being like too much the same. So I definitely really like this one as well. And then under the dust jacket, we have a fiery hardback. We also have the UK standard dust jacket on the reverse side, which is another thing that book boxes have been doing more and more often recently. And then we have some character art on the end papers, and it is very beautiful, and they are different on the front and the back. And then the next two books are duplicates. So this is When the Moon Hatched, and this first edition is the Waterstone Special Edition. It has the standard dust jacket, but what makes it really cool is the sprayed edge. I love these dragons with the blue background. And then it also has a foil stamp on the naked hardback. And then the next edition is the Fairy Loot exclusive edition. And oh my gosh, this is so pretty. This is one of my favorite artists that does bookish art. And I think that they did so good. I love the dragon, of course. I love the foiling. I love the northern lights. It's just so beautiful. This edition is another one of my favorites in my whole library. The sprayed edge with the dragon just looks so good. And then the end papers, I really like that they are a different color scheme. I just think they look so good. And then under the dust jacket, we have a really pretty ombre naked hardback with pretty detailed foiling and a quote on the back. And the end papers are different on the front and the back, and I love the ones in the back even more. It's so dreamy and romantic and beautiful. So then moving to the second half of this shelf, we have even more dragons. So the book that is face out is my favorite book, called Fireborn, and this is just the standard hardcover, but this one is pretty special to me because it is signed and made out to me with a quote, "Go show them what you're made of." And I really cherish having this in my collection, and I would love to see Fireborn get a proper, very fancy special edition. That is definitely the top of my bookish wish list, so fingers crossed that one day that happens. So then also I have the second and third book in the Aurelian cycle, Flamefall and Fury Song. Again, these are just the standard editions. Then I have the indie special edition of the book Scalebound, and this sprayed edge is really, really beautiful. These are elemental dragons, and it definitely fits that vibe. And the next book is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, and this is the Waterstones special edition, which has a red cover recolor, and then of course the matching red dragon sprayed edges. And then the next book technically isn't dragons, they are phoenixes, but they kind of still fit the vibe, and I really love these sprayed edges. This is The Phoenix Keeper, which is a recent Illumicrate book, and this has a recolor on the dust jacket, and the art is so beautiful. And then it has character art and creature art on the end pages that looks so good, I think. And then the naked hardback also has creature art, and I think the naked hardback is my favorite part of the whole edition. And the end papers are different front and back. Then the next book is Dragon Rider, and this is the Waterstones special edition. So it has a little bit of a different cover, and it has this really cool ombre sprayed edge. Then I have this weird little book that I thrifted. It's called How to Raise and Keep a Dragon, and it is really cute. It has a bunch of really cool creature art on the inside. It's kind of a field guide for different kinds of dragons. So it's more of a coffee table book than anything, but I keep it up here with the rest of my dragon books. Now, moving on to the next shelf. This one has a shrine to Carissa Broadbent. And then it also houses a few of my absolutely favorite, most prettiest special editions as well. So starting out the Carissa Broadbent shrine, I have a dagger replica from the Crowns of Nyaxia, and this was from an Illumicrate box. And then I have Aurea's 2 daggers, and these replicas are from Iridescent Fairy Tale on Etsy. And then I also have this pin, which is from Arcane Society. It's really pretty. And then this necklace is technically an Akatar necklace, but I keep it over here. They have wings, it counts, right? But this was actually from No One Designs, and I won a giveaway from them, so I have a few of their products. Now you'll notice I have multiple editions of the same book on this shelf, which I don't do that often, but I just really love all of these editions, so I had to have them. The first book on this shelf is the trad published The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, of course. And this is just the standard edition. It has the cool naked hardback that her books have, but this one is actually pretty dang special to me. And that is because it is signed and made out to me with the quote, "There she is," in the front. So of course I love it so much. It is so very special, and I just am so happy to own this. And then similarly, the second book is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Again, just the trad standard edition, but this one is also signed. Then my next set of editions are from Owlcrate. So the first book came in one of their adult subscription boxes. So of course I had to sign up for the waitlist immediately. And thankfully I got into the box by the time that this book came around. And I think that this redesigned dust jacket is so cool and dark and moody, and I just really love it. And then under the dust jacket, we have a really cool foiling print on the naked hardback with a quote on the back. And then the reverse dust jacket has really, really beautiful character art that I love. And my favorite part of this edition is the end papers. They are different in the front and the back. This front one has her and Rain in the greenhouse area. Again, I love the colors, I love the foiling. And then in the back, it has the two of them outside. It's so moody and dark, and I just love it. And then to elevate this edition even more, I was given these page overlays from my husband for my birthday. And these overlays are by Sunny Ray Art on Etsy. And I think that they are really, really well done. I won't show you all of them, but here are quite a few of them. And they just really enhance the special edition, enhance the reading experience. And for someone who just really values and loves character art, page overlays are such a fun thing to have in my favorite books. And then the Owl Crate edition of Ashes is pretty similar, but the color is this like reddish tone. And again, it has that redesigned dust jacket that looks very dark and cool. And then the end papers are also so beautiful. Kind of a spoiler, I guess, if you look too closely. There is a really cool foiled stamp under the dust jacket, and again, a quote on the back. And we have even more beautiful character art on the reverse side of the dust jacket, and more character art on the back end papers. I was also able to score the Arcane Society special editions for a very good price on Pango Books. So I had to have these ones as well, and these are so beautiful in my opinion. First of all, the redesigned dust jacket is really high quality, it's really thick, but then the art is so beautiful. I technically have the reverse side of the dust jacket on my books because I love character art, and I think that this character art of the two of them looks phenomenal. And then the edges look really cool with that purple sword and snake design. And then this is the part of these editions that was kind of controversial, this character art of Rain on the naked hardback. The proportions are a little bit weird, but I still like it. I think it looks great. I love the foiling and all of the colors. We have a quote on the back with the wings, and then the front side of the dust jacket has this kind of smoky design, I guess, with the snake on the back. And these are signed by Carissa Broadbent. So I really love these editions. I actually think I love the Ashes one even more. So we have Rain on the cover. Again, I think that this character art looks amazing. And then we have the wing with the sword on the edges in this kind of purple color. And then that continues onto the end papers. And then this art of Araya is so beautiful in my opinion. I think this is my favorite part of this edition, this specific art of Araya. It is gorgeous. I think she looks beautiful and I just really love it. So even if Rain looked kind of weird on the first book, how beautiful she looks on the second book totally makes up for it for me. But of course, since I love the dust jackets too, I keep the dust jackets on. But I'm just so grateful that I was able to get these editions for such a reasonable price, secondhand, and I am so happy to own them and have them in my collection. So then moving on, I have two more Carissa Broadbent books, and it is a book 1 and a book 3 of The War of Lost Hearts. I don't have the second book, I read it on my Kindle. I do intend on getting it one day, but I'm in no rush. So this is the standard edition of Daughter of No Worlds, and similarly to my standard edition of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, this one is still very special to me. They do have the cool hardcover cases on them. but this first book is made out to me and signed with a quote, "If you can do it, I can do it." So again, I just feel so lucky to have such a special and personalized edition of this book that I love, love, love in my collection. And then the third book is just the standard edition. It is not signed, but I do really love the cover art of the third book. I think it's my favorite cover art of the whole series. So that is my Carissa Broadbent shrine. Now moving on to some of my favorite special editions that I own. These first three are very special to me. These are Once Upon a Broken Heart. And these were special editions that I didn't think I was ever going to be able to own, but they thankfully reprinted them last year when the third book came out. So this pink one is Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is the first book in the series. And they do have the UK covers on the dust jackets. And then of course the edge is super beautiful with the stamping and the pastels. It's so, so pretty. And when you open it up, you have really beautiful character art on the end papers. And then the naked hardback has really detailed stamping, and it says The Ballad of the Archer and the Fox with an arrow on the back and some really beautiful character art on the reverse dust jacket. And we have different characters on the back end papers. And then the second book is blue with the mushrooms. And I love this color scheme so much. This is The Ballad of Never After. And the cover design is stunning. I love this one. And we have a quote on the back and more mushrooms. And we have this really sweet character art of Eva and Jax on the end paper. And then we have a really detailed stamping on the naked hardback. And some absolutely beautiful character art on the reverse side of the dust jacket. I love the pinks and purples and yellows. And then we have the boys on the back end papers. And then the purple one is the third book, A Curse for True Love. And while this book was disappointing, this edition is so beautiful. The cover is so intricate and beautiful. I really love it in this purple color. And of course the quote on the back and the really beautiful stamped edges. And then these end papers are stunning. I love the fireworks, even though like for story purposes, I don't really love it, but oh my gosh, they are stunning. And then we have The Greatest Love Story Ever Told stamped on the hardback and more beautiful character art on the reverse side of the dust jacket. And thankfully we have Eva Jax on the back end papers, and it is so cozy and cute and beautiful, and I really love this design as well. So those are definitely some of my favorites. The next book is a monthly book from Fairy Loot this year. This is The Crimson Moth, and these edges are stunning. The moths look beautiful. And then the redesigned dust jacket is also so gorgeous with the character art. I am very partial to character art, but I think it is stunning. And then we have a quote on the back. And then we have more character art of the two main characters on the end papers. And they are the same designs on the front and the back. And then we have a nice design foiled stamp on the naked hardback. And then under the dust jacket is the regular cover, but I think it's a color change. And it looks really nice, and it fits with the whole color scheme as well. And then the next book is another monthly Fairy Loot book from this year, and I think it is gorgeous. This is A Feather So Black, which I believe was in the adult box. And I love this art style so much. The edges with the swan and the castle and the moon, it's just so fantastical. And then the wraparound art on the dust jacket adds to that vibe as well. And then we have even more whimsy and magical vibes on the end papers with this character art. I really love the flowers and the castle here. And then we have a nice design on the naked hardback with some silver foiling. And again, we have the standard dust jacket on the reverse side of the redesigned dust jacket. And this edition is just beautiful. I absolutely love it. The next book is definitely a favorite of mine. I got this one secondhand on Pango. This was an adult book from last October, I believe, from Fairy Loot. And this is The Hurricane Wars. And I liked this book, and I'm excited for the second book. But oh my god, this cover, these colors, so pretty. Again, purple is my favorite color, so of course I love this so much. And then when you open it up, the end papers are like almost even better, I would say. So beautiful. She looks so royal. He looks so royal. I just love it so much. Raylo fans are something else with their fan art, so because this book started as Raylo fan fiction, I feel like it has the best art. And then the naked hardback is beautiful. I think it's the prettiest naked hardback they've ever done. I love all the purples, the golds, the moons. It's stunning. The next book is one of the YA book box books from Fairy Loot this year, and this is Darker by 4. It has a redesigned dust jacket with these butterflies and the string with the hands. I think it looks really nice. And then that design carries into the edges with the butterflies. And I just really love this art style. And then we have character art on the end papers. And I think it looks, again, really nice. I'm like a broken record at this point. All the books here I love. So of course, I think they look really good. And then we have a really pretty purple and blue colorway on the naked dust jacket with some really intricate, pretty foiling. And then again, the standard dust jacket is on the reverse side of the redesigned dust jacket. The next book is a newer addition to my shelves. This was the Fairy Loot book for September, I believe. And this is The Half King, and it's purple, so of course I love it, but I think it's really beautiful. I love this mountain smoky edge and the way that it kind of connects to the redesigned dust jacket. The gold foiling is beautiful, but oh my god, these end papers, so beautiful. Like, they took my breath away when I first saw them. They're so whimsical and dreamy, and the colors are so beautiful. I really love them. They are different on the front and the back. The back also has the dude in the book, and oh my gosh, like, I just love them. I love the foiling, the colors, everything about them. And then it also has a purple hardback with gold foiling. And then the next book on the shelf is The God and the Gumiho. And this was a Fairy Loot adult monthly pick this year. It has the standard UK design on the dust jacket, but it is recolored a little bit. And then that design also continues onto the sprayed edge. And then we have some really sweet character art on the end papers. And I especially love the character art on the back end papers because of the sakura trees and all of the pink. I think it is so pretty. And then under the dust jacket, we have a maroon hardback with silver foiling and a coffee cup with cherry blossoms. And I really, really love that. And the cherry blossoms continue onto the back of the hardback. And we have some more character art on the reverse side of the dust jacket. The next book isn't necessarily one of my favorite special editions. It's just kind of fit here, but this is Nectar of the Wicked. This was one of the romantasy books from Fairy Loot this year. It has a very beautiful redesigned dust jacket. And then my favorite thing about it are these sprayed edges with the purple mushrooms, because that is totally my vibe. So we have some character art on the end papers, and it is the same design on the front and the back end papers. And then we have another maroon hardback with a pretty intricate foil stamp on the naked hardback. And then tucked in this corner is another romantasy pick from Fairy Loot this year. And this was the first romantasy book for that subscription. And that is Lore of the Wilds. And what I really love about this edition, again, are the edges, more mushrooms. I think the colors are really moody and pretty. This does have the standard dust jacket, but we have some character art on the end papers. And we have a really, really pretty naked hardback design with the trees and the forest, the moon, the little constellations and foiling. I really, really love the naked hardback. And it continues on to the back. And then we also have this redesign on the reverse side of the dust jacket with more character art. So that was the end of the second shelf. Now moving on to the third shelf. The third shelf holds my Lee Bardugo shrine. I have a lot of Grishaverse books, and I'm excited to show them off to you. And then it just holds a few more of my favorite special editions. So starting with the Grishaverse, I have a couple little decorations. So both of these are from No One Designs as part of that giveaway that I won. And then for the books, I have the standard edition of Demon in the Wood. And then I have the collector's edition of Shadow and Bone. And this is really beautiful. I love the box that it comes in, or I guess it's the slip case it would be called. It is white with this gold foiling. And then the book itself is black with gold foiling, and it's so beautiful. But again, this edition is even more special because, first of all, look at that hardcover case. So stunning. I love the design so much. But you open it up, you have this beautiful stag art on the inside papers. And my edition is signed and made out to me again. So I am just so lucky, so grateful to own this and have this on my shelf. It is so personal and special to me. Then I have my paperback editions of the Grishaverse, so Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, King of Scars, and Rule of Wolves. And then I have the collector's edition hardcovers of Six of Crows, and this one has red foiling. These are really, really beautiful. It also has red sprayed edges, but my favorite thing about these editions is actually in the back of the book. They have bound in character art, and I just think they're really cool. It's a really cool addition to these editions. So then similarly, I have the same kind of edition for Crooked Kingdom, and the foiling on this one is gold, and the sprayed edge is black. And again, there is bound in character art in the back. And I like this art even more. And actually, the design for Matthias is so stunning. Like, I love it. Same with Nina. Those two are definitely my favorites. And then I have the same kind of edition for Shadow and Bone, which looks so skinny compared to the other two. But this one is this navy blue with such a pretty blue foiling. It's gorgeous. And then I'm very lucky to have the Owl Crate special editions of the Grishaverse. So I have both the Six of Crows duology and then the Shadow and Bone trilogy. So this first one is Six of Crows, and oh, the redesigned dust jackets on these are stunning. So beautiful, so detailed. The foiling is gorgeous, and they all go together so well. And then we have No Mourners, No Funerals on the back, of course. And the sprayed edge is kind of simple, but I really like it. And then we have these kind of graphic end papers on all of these, and they look really cool. And the foiling on the naked hardbacks are so detailed and so awesome. I love them. And we have a quote on the back, and we have a whole scene illustrated on the reverse side of the dust jacket. These editions are just really special, but something that makes them even cooler is there is bound in page overlays on the inside of the books. So then the next book is Crooked Kingdom, and the dust jacket looks so good. This is my favorite of the duology, so I'm a little bit biased. And we have the quote, "We never stop fighting" on the back. And we have the crows over Ketterdam on the edges. And then again, we have that kind of graphic looking end paper. And Ketterdam, a tourist guide on the foil stamping on the hardback. And another quote on the back. I just think these look so cool. And of course, character art on the reverse side of the dust jacket. And we have even more page overlays as well, but I won't show the last one for spoiler reasons. If you know, you know, and also because it makes me very sad to look at. So then we have Shadow and Bone, and I love the colors chosen with the stags on this one. So pretty. And then we have The Problem with Wanting is that it makes us weak on the back. And of course we have the stag on the sprayed edge. And these really, really pretty sun and antlers on the end papers. And a very intricate foil design on the naked hardback. And a quote on the back. And we have Alina in a whole illustrated scene on the reverse side of the dust jacket. And these also have bound in page overlays. So next is Siege and Storm, and this one looks really cool on the redesigned cover, and it has the iconic Nikolai quote on the back, and we have some nautical sea serpent end papers and the Tale of Sankt Nikolai on the front of the hardback, and the other iconic Nikolai quote on the back. And another scene illustrated on the reverse side of the dust jacket. They all follow the same formula, but God, they are such stunning additions. I love the page overlays for this one. Then of course we have Ruin and Rising, and this cover looks beautiful. I love the colors, and on the back we have Like Calls to Like. And the Firebird on the edges looks so cool. And then we have the Legend of the Firebird on the hardback stamp, and Jenya's iconic quote on the back. And again, more character art, character scenes on the reverse side of the dust jacket. And there's only one page overlay in this one, so here is that. And that is the end of my Lee Bardugo shrine, my Grishaverse shrine. I really, really love it. Now on to some more special editions. First we have the City of Stardust, which was a Fairy Loot pick at the beginning of this year, I believe. And I love the galaxy look of the redesigned dust jacket and of the edges. It's so pretty with the holographic foiling. Then we have some character art on the end papers, and they are different front and back. And we have a foil stamp on the naked hardback, and then a copy of the regular dust jacket on the reverse side of the redesigned dust jacket. The next book is To Cage a God, and this was an Illumicrate book earlier this year that I got secondhand on Pango, and I really love the stained glass design on the sprayed edges. The dust jacket is maybe a recolor of the regular dust jacket design, but then it wraps around. It has a quote on the back, and the end papers are so beautiful in this edition. I really love these ones in the front. Colors are absolutely gorgeous, and then they are different in the back, and I just think it looks so pretty. This little village looking up to the castle up above. And then we have a nice, pretty foil design on the naked hardback. Now the next book is A Fate Inked in Blood, which is a book that I have really, really loved this year. This was a Fairy Loot adult pick earlier this year, and it's kind of controversial. A lot of people didn't like this redesigned dust jacket, but I personally think it looks really epic and really awesome. I love the foiling, and it makes a lot of sense for the story. Then we have runes on the sprayed edge and a quote on the back, and I think it looks really cool. But my favorite part about this special edition is the character art on the end papers. So in the front we have Freya looking very cool, and in the back we have Bjorn, and oh my god, I love this character art so much. And then we also have character art stamped on the front of the naked hardback, which is also really cool and I personally really like. Then the next book is also A Fate Inked in Blood. This is the first printing with the regular dust jacket and the really pretty light blue metallic sprayed edge. The next book is A Curse of Blood and Wolves. And this was a Fairy Loot Romantasy book this year. And I love the artist who did the cover design, and the foiling with the silver and the red is very different from a lot of other Fairy Loot books. And I like the quote on the back. I think that the edges are really, really beautiful with the frosty berry kind of look. And then we have character art on the end papers. And again, I love this artist. And then we have a really pretty blue color scheme going on the naked hardback, and a really cute wolf, and then a rose on the back, and then the reverse of the dust jacket is a recolor of the standard dust jacket design. The next book is Fathom Folk, and this was another Illumicrate pick this year. The dust jacket is, I believe, a recolor of the standard dust jacket, and I got this one secondhand on Pango. The design from the cover continues on to the back side of the dust jacket, and then it also correlates with the really pretty waves on the edges. But my favorite part of this design is the full colored printing on the naked hardback. It just looks so detailed, so intricate, and of course on the back we have a dragon, which of course I love. And then we also have some character art on the end papers. It is the same on the front and the back. And then the next book is another recent edition. This is Bloodguard, and this is just the standard edition from Red Tower Books. And it just has this pretty red stenciled edge design. And then the last book on this shelf is The Forest Grimm, which was a Fairy Loot book last year, I believe. And this is a recolor of the standard UK cover, but we have some really cool art on the back with a quote. And I really love this night sky design on the edges. I also, again, love the artist who did the character art on the end papers. And then the naked hardback and the reverse dust jacket has a kind of different vibe. It's more in that grim fairy tale aesthetic, which I think looks really, really cool. I really like the reverse dust jacket. I just haven't flipped it yet. And that was the end of my third shelf. So my fourth shelf has some more special editions, but then also some of my more epic fantasy. The first book is actually Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare, and this was the Fairy Loot pick last December, I think. And this one was very controversial. People did not like the character art on the cover, but me being me, I like it. I also really love the sprayed edges on this one. This horizontal skyscape design looks really cool. It's also just super different compared to every other special edition that I have. Then we have even more character art on the end papers. So we have the two boys in the front and then the heroine in the back. And then we have a pretty standard for Fairy Loot foil stamping on the front of the naked hardback. The next book is Heavenbreaker, and this is just the standard edition. This is a Red Tower Books book, so it has a special first edition with the cool sprayed edge. And then similarly, we have the game's God's Play, which is also a standard first edition with the sprayed edge. The next book is Mistress of Lies, which was an Illumicrate book this fall, and it has a recolored dust jacket with a bunch of foiling that looks really, really cool. And then on the back, it's just kind of standard, but the sprayed edge is really unique and really awesome. I love the gothic kind of sketchy vibes of this sprayed edge. And then we have really beautiful character art on the end papers, and it is different on the front and the back. But my favorite thing about this special edition is the full color printing on the naked hardback with this landscape. It looks so cool. I just love when they do this. It feels really good in your hands. To have the little foiled birds also makes it look even more cool. I just really like it. The next book is Silver in the Bone, and this was a Fairy Loot young adult last year, and this one was pretty controversial as well, and there was drama in the Instagram comments, but we have basically the same dust jacket as the standard edition, no text on the spine, and then the sprayed edge is just a copy of the design from the front cover, which a lot of people didn't like. And then we have some character art in a more cartoony style on the end papers. And then we also have that same kind of cartoony style in full color printing on the naked hardback. And for whatever reason, I don't like this one as much. And I also understand the complaints of having the same edge design as the cover. And this next edition also kind of did the same thing. I have reversed the dust jacket to the alternate design, but this sprayed edge matches the regular dust jacket like identically. So it's another one of those copy and paste edges that a lot of people did not like. And they haven't really done this again since then, I believe, because it did not get good feedback. So at least they're listening to us. But the naked hardback has some character art on the stamp. And we have some really, really cool character art on the end papers. This looks super awesome. I love it. And it is different on the front and the back. The next book is the standard first printing of Sons of Darkness. And this just has a matching sprayed edge design to the standard cover. The next book is God Killer, and this is just the standard UK edition, but oh my god, it has such a pretty cover. It is so beautiful. The foiling is gorgeous. The design is gorgeous. I love it so much. I also love this book. And it also has a landscape design on the end papers, which is also really cool. But my edition of Sunbringer is actually the Waterstones special edition. So this also has a really cool and stunning cover. And then the design carries on to the sprayed edge. And we have a quote on the back. It just looks so cool. I love the aesthetic. And again, we have some landscape art on the end papers, and this looks awesome. I love the colors. And this edition is also signed, which is pretty cool because again, I loved this book. I'm so excited for the third book. So then moving on to some of my epic fantasy, I have The Justice of Kings and The Tyranny of Faith. And then I have The Shadow of the Gods and The Hunger of the Gods. And then I have Engines of Empires and Engines of Chaos. And those are all just standard editions. And then I have this little Halloween decoration in the corner here in front of some of my George R.R. Martin books. And I have my mass market paperbacks of A Song of Ice and Fire. This was the first series that I really fell in love with when I was in junior high school. And I deep dove into the lore and I watched podcasts and I read articles and theorized and all of that. And these are my original editions, so they are pretty beat up, but I love how beat up, especially the first couple of books look, and they're all yellow and gross. But I will always keep these original mass market paperbacks. They are so fun to read from, they feel so good in my hands, and they're just very nostalgic for me. So then I also have Fire and Blood and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. And that is it for my fourth shelf. Now for the fifth and final shelf of my first bookcase, this has a lot of random stuff on it and then my little Mythology antiquity collection. So starting on the left here, we have my Mythology and classical antiquity collection. So I have a general mythology book, and then I have my illustrated editions of the Iliad and the Odyssey. I have a history of the classical world, and then I have my other edition of the Odyssey. And then I have a couple of Mary Beard books. So I have Confronting the Classics, A History of Ancient Rome, and then her newest book, Emperor of Rome. Then I have some myth-related fiction. So I have Herc and The Song of Achilles and Norse mythology. And then we get into some of my random paperbacks. So we have Lore, Little Thieves, Uprooted, and then A Natural History of Dragons, His Majesty's Dragon, so the first Temeraire book, and then this little novella, The Fireborn Blade. Then I have The Bone Ships, The Last Wish, Kings of the Wild, which my husband and I really love, and then The Wolf. And then I have paperbacks of Red Rising and Golden Sun. I read Morningstar on my Kindle. And then I have these little special editions of Joe Abercrombie. So The Blade itself, these are just short, little, cute special editions. And I really like them. I got them secondhand for a really good price. And then Before They Are Hanged and The Last Argument of Kings. And then finishing off this shelf, we have A Broken Blade and The Priory of the Orange Tree. And that is the end of my first bookcase. As you can see, I organized based on vibe. I didn't mention that yet, but yes, there's no real system. I just organized my books based on vibe, aesthetic, but mostly vibe. Now, moving on to my second bookcase, I don't have as many special editions on this shelf, so it should go by quite a bit faster. This first shelf is my pink and purple and pretty shelf. I really like how it turned out. The first book is this gorgeous pink special edition from Barnes & Noble of Louisa May Alcott's books, including Little Women. And Little Women is one of my favorite classics, and this edition is absolutely gorgeous and stunning, so I had to have it, of course. Then we have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and the indie edition of House of Marion. Then these beautiful pink flowered edges belong to A Fragile Enchantment, which was a Fairy Loot pick earlier this year. And I have the reverse dust jacket on right now because I love how it looks. I love the whole vibe of the design, and I think it goes really well with the sprayed edge. And we have some really beautiful character art on the end papers. And I especially love the character art in the back because it focuses on her sewing, and I sew, so I always love seeing seamstresses in books, especially fantasy books. And the naked hardback design is stunning. The colors are so beautiful. It's just really different and intricate, and I absolutely love it. And then we have the standard UK design on the reverse of the dust jacket. This next book is also really beautiful with the flowers. This is Bonded by Thorns, and this was a Fairy Loot Romantasy pick. And this has a redesigned dust jacket with some character art and really beautiful foiling, and it wraps around to the back, and it also has these amazing sprayed edges. I love flowers on sprayed edges. They just look so pretty. And then we have some character art on the end papers, and they are different in the front and the back. And these also have some really cool foiling to accent the character art as well. And I especially love how the edges match the hardcover case design, and that it is kind of like a full printed design with these foiled accents on the flowers. I just really love the hardcover. And then we have the standard dust jacket on the reverse side. Next we have A Dark and Drowning Tide, and I really love this book. And this is an interesting redesign of the front cover. I do think it's very beautiful with the character art and then the mermaid lady on the back. But I'm a bit disappointed in the edges of this edition because I can't even really tell what they're supposed to be. I'm pretty sure it's like bubbles and jellyfish, but they're just so dark, it's really hard to tell. But my favorite part about this edition are these creature art designs on the end papers. They look like a field guide, and they make a lot of sense with the story, so I do really love these. And then the naked hardback is just the standard cover printed onto the naked hardback, which again, I was a little bit disappointed in this edition because I loved the book so much, but because I love the book so much, I'm going to keep the edition, of course. Then I have a few tchotchkes sitting on this Illumicrate puzzle, which is a dark academia bookcase puzzle, which looks so cool. And then moving on, I have some more purple books. So first, this is the Barnes & Noble edition of Curious Tides. And then this next book doesn't have a spine printing, and that's because I reversed the dust jacket. This is the Owl Crate edition of Fall of Ruin and Wrath. And I really loved this character art on the reverse side of the dust jacket, so I wanted it to be front facing. It does have this really pretty purple and silver foil design on the regular side of the dust jacket. And then that kind of same vibe continues onto the naked hardback. The foiling is really beautiful. And then we have these graphic end papers with the cool sword and wings. And I just love all of the purple in this edition. And then we have my Belladonna collection. So the first book, Belladonna, I have the first print run edition. And this was special because it has a really pretty printed design on the naked hardback. And I love how it looks. It's so cool. And then I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Foxglove. And this also has a printed hardcover case, but it is maroon and it is so gorgeous. I love it. And then similarly, the third book, Wisteria, I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and this has a purpley blue colored print on the hardcover case, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous with those wisteria flowers and the moths. It just looks so pretty. And then I have the standard edition of How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. And next to that is my collector's edition of The Cruel Prince. And this is really cool. It comes in this black slipcase with black foiling, and it doesn't really show up on camera well, but in person it looks really awesome. And then the book itself is velvet with more black foiling, and it just looks awesome. And it matches those kind of dark fae vibes that you feel in this series, and I just really love this edition. Then I have another one of those bookmarks from No One Designs, and this one is for The Cruel Prince. It's supposed to be for Jude. And then I have my Fairy Loot editions of the Stolen Heir duology. So the first book, The Stolen Heir. These editions are really beautiful. I love all of the gold foiling, and this character art on the cover is stunning. We have a quote on the back, and of course, gold gilded edges. And then on the inside, we have this beautiful art of Ren, and it is the same in the front and the back. And we have a matching design on the foil stamp of the naked hardback. And then the edition of The Prisoner's Throne is very similar. We have kind of matching character art, and I love it. I really, really love it. And all of that gold foiling looks awesome. And another quote on the back. And then we have character art of Oak on the end papers for this one, which I absolutely love. And then I just have my standard edition of the Foxglove King, and that is it for this shelf. So the next shelf is definitely just based on vibes. I do have an Olivie Blake shrine. So the first book is my Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of One for My Enemy. And then I have my collection of the Atlas series, and each of these are a different edition. So I have the US paperback of the Atlas 6. I have the UK hardcover of the Atlas Paradox. And then I have the Barnes & Noble edition of the Atlas Complex. And my edition of Paradox is also signed. And then the newest addition to my bookshelves is this Waterstones exclusive edition of January's, which just came out. And it is so beautiful. It has this gorgeous foiling and then a matching design on the edges. And it has some really cool character art on the end papers. And it is also signed. Then I have the Illumicrate Olivie Blake special editions. So first is Masters of Death, and this has a really cool foil design on the hardcover with a cutout where you can see the end papers, which have these foiled skulls. So these are really cool. They're kind of different compared to a lot of the other special editions I have. And we have these really cool bat and moon sprayed edges. And then One for My Enemy correlates pretty well. It is white with the gold foiling and the cutout to a black and gold rose. And the end papers are this gold rose and dagger and vine design. And the edges have black and red roses. The next book is the Waterstone Special Edition of The Future, and this has a recolored cover and some cool sprayed edges, and it is also signed. The next two books are from The Broken Binding, and these are both by Dan Jones. So the first one is Essex Dogs, and it has this matching stenciled sprayed edge with the cover, and it is signed and actually numbered as well. So I am number 1222 out of 1346. And then I also have Wolves of Winter, which also has a correlating sprayed edge design. And this one is also signed and numbered, but this time I'm number 325 out of 1347. And I bought them at the same time, so I don't know how that works, but whatever. Either way, it's still pretty cool. And then I also have Rouge by Mona Awad. And I have this cute little library cat sitting on this shelf. The next book is the standard edition of Immortal Longings and the standard edition of Where the Dark Stands Still. Then we have The Run in the Holly Library, and this was a Fairy Loot Romantasy pick. And this one had a little bit of drama as well, but I really like the redesigned front cover. It's really cute with the little kitty. And then the sprayed edge was supposed to have the kitty as well, but it just isn't there for whatever reason. But we have some character art on the end pages, and it is different front and back. And then we have this pretty blue color on the naked hardback, but there was supposed to be character art on the reverse dust jacket, and it just never happened, I guess. So they had to end up sending a art print of that art in a future box. So this book had some drama. The next book is Together We Burn, and this was a pretty old Bookish Box special edition. I got it secondhand on Pango, and I just really love the dragon on the redesigned front cover. We have a nice foil stamping on the hardback, and then the regular dust jacket on the reverse. And something different about this book is that it also came with some page overlays, which is pretty cool, and they look pretty dang good. Then we have The Curse of the Wolf King and The Rise of the Cinderfae, and then The Jasad Heir and The Stardust Thief, and we're on to the next shelf. So this shelf has all of my Sarah J. Maas books, and then also some other paperbacks. But the first thing on this shelf is another one of those bookmarks by No One Designs, and this is the Illyrian Blade, and it looks really cool. But then I have all of my Throne of Glass paperbacks, and they are in my reading order. So that is why they are in this order. Do not get mad at me. And then, of course, I have ACOTAR right next to them. And then I have my Barnes & Noble editions of Crescent City, and I'm waiting for the third one to come out in the Barnes & Noble paperback. And then I have One Dark Window, For the Wolf, For the Throne, Heartless, Firelight, Legends and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust, Alice, and When Women Were Dragons. So some random paperbacks, but they fit the vibe. And now moving on to our last shelf. This is kind of a fae and young adult paperback shelf mostly. So we have A Sorcery of Thorns, An Enchantment of Ravens, Half a Soul and 10,000 Stitches, Fortuna Sworn. And then I have my paperbacks of The Folk of the Air, so The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing, as well as my little mini paperback of The Stolen Heir. Then I have this little fairies book, Myths, Legends, and Lore, and it just has all of the classic fairy tales, fae stories with really cute art, and I just love it. It's so cute, and it's just kind of fun to flip through, and yeah, So I have that right here next to The Folk of the Air. And then I have my Waterstones paperbacks of Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. I didn't get the Curse for True Love because that book made me so mad. But these editions are really cool. They have a recolored cover with these really pretty French flaps. And I especially love the colors on The Ballad of Never After. I've said multiple times, but purple is my favorite color, so that shouldn't be too big of a surprise. Then I have my paperbacks of the Caraval series. Then I have more YA paperbacks, so I have the Curse So Dark and Lonely series, the Remnant Chronicles series, and then I have my paperbacks of An Ember in the Ashes, but these are actually the UK paperbacks that they don't make anymore, and I like them so much better than any other cover, so I'm very happy to have them, and I just think the designs, the colors, everything about them look so good. And then I also have the UK paperbacks of the Elizabeth Lim books. So here is 6 Crimson Cranes. It is so beautiful, like just stunning. And even more beautiful is The Dragon's Promise. Oh my god, like probably the prettiest paperback I've ever seen. I love the colors so much. And then I also have Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk. And then hiding in the corner is one of my favorite books of all time, If We Were Villains. And that is the end of my second bookshelf. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking through this very long video. It is definitely the longest video I have ever made. So if you like this one, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. And if you'd like to see more from me, specifically my reading journal content, be sure to click subscribe. I hope that you and yours are staying safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you again next time. Happy Halloween! Thanks again. Bye-bye!